What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's So Dev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. We have some tea to get into. But before we get into the tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That's So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including Blue Sky. We got it popping over there. Girl, look, I, I I feel like the title is going to be super obvious for obvious reasons. We're seeing Justin Bieber have a quote unquote crash out moment. And I want to discuss. And keep in mind, I speak about pop culture, music, whatever, right? But when it comes to Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber, and Justin Bieber, girl, I go the other way. I'm just tired. It's never been that serious to me. And I just feel like it's so dragged out. I mean, imagine the world continuously associating you with your ex and millions of people actually still being a fan of you together. Like that shit is insane to me. Anywho, so we're seeing Justin Bieber really have a moment. And over the last year, I would say the last year, maybe last year and a half, whatever. Justin Bieber has been cleaning a house. Okay, I mean, cleaning a house of everyone truly from his past, and I surely don't mean everyone entirely, because I'm sure I don't know every last person. But as far as we know, the people that he has worked with growing up, he has separated himself from that. He has just become a new father, and congratulations to him. So it feels like Justin Bieber is trying to hit a refresh button and trying to align himself with things that reflect who he has become and is in this moment. And you can never hate on anybody for that. So here we are, and we're seeing now videos, which seems like every other day, or some sort of incident every other day, where Justin Bieber is, again, quote unquote, crashing out. And it's interesting to me because look, there are several perspectives here. Justin Bieber has been harassed by the paparazzi and the media his entire life. Since that boy was a little child, they have been harassing him. Period. There's no room for any more discussion outside of that, right? So when I see a video of Justin Bieber being harassed by the paparazzi and the media, right? And keep in mind, the people who have to take these videos and who are out doing paparazzi things also have to put food on the table, right? But when I see these videos, it takes me back to a moment where he was harassed back then, because I've been a fan of Justin Bieber since the very, very jump. I bought My World and My World 2.0 and Believe and everything in between. Girl, yes, I did. I was a fan. I was that girl in real life. I really was buying the shit. And I hated that for him. I always did. You know what I mean? I feel like at a young age he was really thrown into an industry that really eats these kids up alive. It is a lot better now, but we're not going to act like it's something, it's not a gold star opportunity that we recommend for children, because no, there are very real sharks in the fucking water. But again, it's one of those things where I can't help but feel an immense amount of compassion for him as a human being, because, for one, I can't imagine me hopping out of the car and then having a paparazzi person on my right, on my left, behind me, just swarming me to try to get pictures and angles and stuff. And I wouldn't feel safe if somebody did that to me on the fucking street. I'd be like, are you trying to rob me? Like, what's good? Come on, be fucking for real. That's crazy to me. And again, I get it. People got to put food on the table. They do. I tell people all the time there is a large perspective when it comes to paparazzi because I've heard several things where, okay, this person, this isn't the path that they wanted at all. But they got to put food on the table, right? This was the opportunity. They have the experience and blah, 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 and all of that stuff. And this is going to be the job that pays them, right? That's why I feel like it's so difficult to just be like, well, they just want money. That's all they care about, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what Justin Bieber is saying to a lot of these paparazzi people, right? He sees somebody with the camera on and it's TMZ and he runs up to them and he's telling them, all you care about is money. You don't care about humans, blah, 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 right? And I don't feel like that shit is black and white. I don't. Because the person behind the camera, you don't know what they make. And I guarantee you TMZ is not paying them enough to have this spacious and gracious rags to riches type lifestyle. It's not transforming their lives into getting, like a 6-7 figure pay. Like, that's just not happening for everybody that has a TMZ camera on their shoulder. Like, that's just not a reality. So there's no way in hell that it's just about money to these people. It can't be. Some people are surviving. It is the only way that some people are surviving. Right? And sure, you're like, damn, at the expense of what though? At the expense of another human's mental health? At the expense of invading another person's personal space and making them uncomfortable? Like, at what cost? Right? What's the cost if they don't? No food on the table, you got kids, blah, blah, blah. Bitch is not hiring you. The jobs in LA are becoming scarce. Like, industry slow. I mean, come on. There are several perspectives here to take into account. So, well, I'm like, damn, back up out his face. And I say that every time that I see a video. I'm like, back up out his face. Get out of his personal space. If you need to use Zoom in the camera, fine. But, and here's the other thing, right? So, TMZ is back in a space. And I'm like, ding, 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 bitch, is this a recession indicator? Because TMZ is back on the streets. And they're back on the streets the way they used to be back in the 2000s. And I'm watching them follow Justin Bieber into this coffee shop. Well, they were going to follow him up to the fucking door until he really made them back up. You know what I mean? Like, give people personal space. There are real humans inside this place, right? And there are real humans with him, right? So it's not just him in his space at this moment in time. I feel like him speaking up to the paparazzi is trying to send a message, which I do hope the message does get across. And if you do end up doing paparazzi pictures, whatever, I hope you do it at a respectable distance in space, because I've seen it be done before, right? But it is the TMZ brand to be this way. Okay, TMZ has just announced that somebody died before the family had an opportunity to tell everybody. Here they are, they did it again. Here they are, they did it again. Because that's not personal. That shit feel like it, right? But that's business to them. That is the business. And that sounds very shitty, but that is a reality of it. There are a lot of sharks inside this industry. And as a person who's been on the inside of TMZ, here's what I can say about it and what I feel. To me, the only thing that I have to say is what you see is what you get. That is the only thing that I will say about TMZ. What you see is what you get. The energy that you feel through the TV, that you feel through the articles, that you feel through the tweets, the posts, the videos, whatever. That is the energy inside of that office. That is the energy inside of the employees. They embody what TMZ represents. Period. So it's no surprise to me that TMZ keeps on, and sustains the energy that they do have. Girl, it, it's such a frustrating thing, right? Because these are humans. Oh my goodness, these are humans. And these things impact them on such a high level. You have paparazzis being Chapel Roan. The way that the paparazzis they talk to them. I mean, people like to, and here's what I briefly about her because this is not about her, but she really calls out a lot of the normalized things within this industry that people will tell you, well, that's part of the job. This is what you signed up for. What did you expect? And she calls that shit out because it shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't be part of the job. It should be none of that, right? And people really do call her out. She's so annoying, like blah, 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 all that good shit. And sometimes she does put her foot in her mouth. To call her daddy, a little podcast thing. I was like, I love you. But some of the things that some of these people say that they're saying in this moment specifically, I'm not disagreeing, right? Because I don't feel like there's any balance when it comes to it in regards to her. But also at the same time, a lot of these situations, you're not going to combat them by being balanced. Somebody has to start the conversation. Somebody has to make it a little bit problematic for people to start really discussing it. Because energy is contagious. Okay? Fear is contagious. Confidence is contagious. Energy is contagious. It's just like nobody liked this post today, but if one or two people go like this post today, more people are going to go like this post today. Nobody's helping this person out over there. One person go help out, more people are going to help out. The energy in general is contagious. So I'm glad that she does that. I'm glad that she's doing that. And we come back to Justin Bieber. I'm glad that he's doing that and speaking out through the paparazzi because that video is obviously going to be spread. He knows that. He wants that message out of there. And from Chapel Roan on over to Justin Bieber, you're seeing different generations of artists discuss these norms that should not be normalized. So I will never fault him for having a quote unquote crash out moment for standards in the industry that are abusive. Hello. Now, we're going to shift gears just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Come on, stay with me. Stay with me. I know. Brew up your tea, bitch, because let's get into a little messiness, right? Let's get into Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez real quick. And first of all, because what I'm going to say about this before I say anything going forward, the root of the problem between Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber is a man. It is Justin Bieber. And, you know, I've seen obviously Hailey Bieber call it out, Selena Gomez call it out in regards to fans and how they go about this and how they discuss everything that's going on and what they choose to bring to the forefront of the media, and the media picks it up and runs with it and create articles and blah, 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 right? I've seen them try to minimize all of it. However, it ain't doing shit. And we've seen a lot of things where they've taken a picture together. Hailey Bieber has posted on her story. Selena Gomez has posted on her story. They're actively and directly addressing it. Both of them. You know, we've seen the era of that. Again, what did it do? Nothing. Now, it's so interesting to me because when you have a situation between celebrities where there's one side and there's the other side, it's not always going to go away. It will, depending on if one side outweighs the other. So, quick example. Could be most horrible example, but it just popped up in my head. Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion. I don't think there's a side to choose, but there are going to be people who choose a side, right? For whatever fucking reason. He shot her. Now, the situation is not going to go away because it's always going to be the root of almost their musical identities, right? It has become a pop culture moment, and that sounds very shitty, but it has. And it has allowed people to get on which side either way. I feel like one side really, it's what you expect. You would have misogyny on all one side, and you have a bunch of people who support women on the other side. It's exactly what you think. But I feel like for the most part, it's balanced in regards to people who want to stick on a side and really stay there. However, I feel like it leans more Megan's way. And that makes it not be in the media as much. But because people still support him in any manner, it stays a topic in whatever manner. And when it comes to Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, I don't feel like a side tips. It's the most balanced two-sided celebrity thing I've ever seen. There's not more people on the Selena side. There's not more people on the Hailey side. Every time that you see the situation, I'm going to see just as many people go up for Selena and just as many people go up for them, for Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Incredibly balanced, y'all. So that allows it to never go away. It allows it to never die down. But, like, here's also the thing. You have certain situations that continue to egg it on and to further the narrative. Oh, and not screenshots, not fake shit. How did Hailey Bieber's account end up liking this shady thing about Selena Gomez? How did Justin Bieber end up liking this shady thing on Instagram? Are these people doing it on purpose? Is it their social media managers? Like, what's going on that this is happening? Because it is happening, right? And what that's doing is it's creating certain things where, and this is where I feel like the balance comes in, right? The balance of the two sides. You have Selena Gomez fans. Selena was never the bitter one. Look at what Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber are doing, right? And when it comes to Selena, because Selena is obviously a person that has a lot of anxiety, a lot of feelings, and she gets those out in her songs. So you'll probably know what she's talking about, right? And when people hear her make songs about her experiences, even if it's songs about experiences that we've already heard through another song, people are like, they were never the bitter one, you know, like she wants sympathy, blah, 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 blah. Those are the two narratives that uphold that balance. And they'll never be able to disappear or diminish. Unless the one person out of this whole situation that hasn't said anything addresses it. And that's Justin. Justin has yet to address it. Indirectly, directly, you could speculate that songs that he has released since him and Selena Gomez broke it off have been about her. You won't actually know that. Could it be masked by the fact that it could be about his wife and his situation? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is he's not speaking up about it, which is interesting to me. Because even after his wife going out of her way, even after Selena going out of her way, and them two kind of working together in whatever way to make it stop, it's interesting. Because why wouldn't you want to? It's at the point that this is physically impacting my wife. And clearly, I still care about Selena Gomez in whatever way, right? These are human beings that other people are harassing. And could you say they're doing it because of you, Justin? I don't feel like that's fair because he's had experiences with both of these, but he is the root. I don't feel like there's a finger to point here, but there is a root of the problem, and it is him. And I guess it comes to the question of should you have an obligation in regards to Justin Bieber? Should he have an obligation to address it? Me personally, my opinion, yes. Yes, this should have been addressed. And I think that Justin Bieber himself actually saying something could make a serious difference. They're not listening to these girls, these women. Oh my goodness. The fans do not care because they are always going to feel like something is bubbling under the surface or whatever the case may be. And then, right? So Justin Bieber unfollows Benny Blanco uh, a bit after the engagement of him and Selena Gomez, which is interesting. And everything that we're seeing now in the media has been kind of this tumble, like tumbling down a hill. All this shit is just tumbling. Like it's a whole avalanche of shit. Like that avalanche is happening now, and it's all of this shit that we're seeing in the media, and all of that is stemming from that unfollow, which feeds and fuels a narrative. It's hard to say, well, Justin Bieber doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that. Because he's made it very apparent that he wants people in the media to really care about human beings. And I feel like in this situation, I just want him to apply that to himself. Selena is human. Your wife is human. That is your wife. People are harassing them. You'll go out there and you'll speak up for yourself personally, directly to these cameras. But what will you say to these people about them? And that's just me. I mean, come on. It's exhausting. The whole Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez thing, it's exhausting. Who is liking those Instagram posts? Because it gets hard to say, well, none of them have done anything. But the reality of it is, some shit has happened. Some shit is going on. And it's not like it's private. The likes are public. And then following those situations, you have Justin Bieber going on his Instagram, just going in. And it's fueling this narrative that he still cares, which then spawns more narratives out of that. Because now people think Justin Bieber is now crashing out after Selena Gomez gets married and after Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber like shady Instagram posts about them on social media. Oh, come on. Like, girl, if y'all don't like sit in a room, like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Do something. Because this ain't it. This has been going on for way too long. And, I feel like every time that something like this happens, and it has been happening, like the last 10 years of my life, girl, like, come on! Not once has he addressed the situation. Why? You don't want to associate yourself with your ex, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But I feel like it's not about that. Clear the air so these people can stop harassing probably the two biggest loves in your life. And the more that he moves on and act like it's not going on or he has no obligation, the more it's going to keep happening. Because it's very clear what needs to happen. And I'm going to be totally real. If Selena and Justin both addressed the issue, it would dead it. It would dead it. Selena Gomez addressed it because she didn't want another woman to be harassed. She didn't want another human to be harassed. It doesn't matter who she's married to. It doesn't matter the situation. She spoke up and she spoke out with being asked and without. But I don't feel like that Selena Gomez has gotten that same energy in return. That's just me. I'm just saying. I don't have a side here. I don't give a fuck. I'm streaming everybody's music involved. So, unfortunately, I have no choice but to see this shit. I just don't. I don't have no choice. You get on the internet, it's there. Well, against my will, I know this shit. It was to a point to where I blocked the words. Haley, Justin, Selena, I blocked them all. But Twitter did this thing where you like one thing and it sends you a billion things in regarding that topic. So I like one Selena Gomez tweet that has nothing to do with any of the drama. Now I'm getting everything in regards to Selena Gomez, including the shady tweets, the positive and the shady, because the algorithm doesn't know the difference between shady and not. It just knows topic. And that's what you get. Topic. Girl. Anyway. I mean, look, I don't care. I really don't. It's just this idea that all of these people are so invested in their lives. I'm trying to understand why on earth would you be so invested in a relationship to where it is impacting you and everybody involved. I'm trying to understand why for 10 years people have been so invested in a relationship, whether good or bad or whatever. Why? What is it doing for you? So I don't know. I do understand in that aspect of why Justin Bieber is kind of like this energy of being like a stan is weird, to where you dedicate your lives to people who you don't know, you may not ever meet them, and while they do something impactful for your life, maybe they shouldn't hold that much weight. And it was something I saw in the media actually, where I think it was one of the members from Young Blood, and he was like, look, I didn't save your life. You know what I mean? You did that. And maybe the music was a factor in helping you do that, but you did that. And I want that to stay at the center of everybody who is a fan of someone. You did do that. And the music was just help along the way. So I get understanding and have an appreciation, especially for this artist who created something that was impactful to you, you know, that you truly cared about. But to a point to where you have kind of made it your personality to what? Be I'm trying to figure out what the word would be. Like, you've dedicated your life to having a whole Instagram profile about Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, even though that they're not together. Like, it's just weird. Why? So I feel like there are a lot of questions that I'm actually going to end up doing a podcast on Stan Culture. To be honest with you, I've already planned that out, just because there's a lot to discuss, and I'm not even going to bother to get into it now because no, hell no. I'm telling you now, that shit has gone too far. But anywho, that's really all I really had to discuss today with you guys. It's just Justin Bieber's whole crash out. What's being said versus what it actually is, it doesn't match up. I don't consider it to be a crash out. Everything is really valid. I feel like when you call it a crash out, I feel like you almost are calling somebody over dramatic in which the way that it's being used, because crash out is one of those, African American vernacular language type teas. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where something in the culture has made it into pop culture. And by culture, I mean black culture. It made it into pop culture because, hello, black culture is pop culture. Just saying. Girl, anyway. You know, bitch, all I can do is just sit here and laugh because I cannot believe it's 2025 and people are still discussing Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. Like, let that kind of sink in for a second. Because what the fuck do you mean? Girl, I'm getting the fuck off this podcast because a whole fucking 30 minutes I cannot get back over Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. Oh my goodness, y'all. But if there's anything that you can take away from today, let it be this. Please do not get fucking invested in these goddamn relationships of celebrities. Do not invest yourself in a celebrity relationship. I don't know why people do that. And do not invest yourself in celebrity culture. You can't. You can't. I have seen people get swallowed up by it. I'm not even joking. And I've seen people also come out of it after being swallowed up. And they're kind of like, damn, like, that shit really just like warp your perception. Because when certain things happen between these couples and these people take it personally and they almost internalize situations that have nothing to do with them. Girl, focus on what's going on in front of you. Go outside. Shit, that's what I'm about to do. On a real, I'm hopping off here though. That's really all I have to talk about. A whole 30 minutes that neither one of us are going to get back discussing Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, and Hailey Bieber once again for like the 1,000th time in a fucking year. Anywho, girl, like I said, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast because Lord knows if you clicked on this podcast, you are a soldier. Anywho, thank you so much for streaming the That's So Deaf podcast where you stay true and you stay you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at That's So Deaf on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube. We kind of popping over there in Blue Sky because I'm transferring over there. So, let it do what it do. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.